A secret affair, a chilling interview, and an ever-changing confession. The truth about convicted murderer Chris Watts is extremely messed up. In 2018, everything seemed to be going well for the Watts family. Chris Watts and his wife Shanann were expecting a new baby while raising their daughters, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste. Though they seemed like a typical family from the outside, Chris and Shanann were having secret relationship issues that led to the devastating deaths of Shanann and their children. Chris was ultimately arrested for the brutal murders of his 2 young daughters and his pregnant wife Shanann. Since then, the case has been the subject of numerous TV shows and documentaries, all of which have attempted to delve into the events of that fateful night when the murders took place. Chris Watts is now serving a life sentence at a maximum security prison in Waupun, Wisconsin, but interest in the case has not died down. On August 13, 2018, Nicole Atkinson knew that something was wrong when Shanann didn't respond to any of her messages. Atkinson had dropped Shanann home at around 2 a.m. that morning after they'd returned from a business trip together. Knowing that Shanann had a doctor's appointment that day, Atkinson raised the alarm. At the Watts home, Atkinson found Shanann's vehicle, but her friend wasn't there. Sensing something wasn't right, she called the police. When Chris arrived home, he let the officers search the house for Shanann. When asked about his wife's whereabouts, he claimed that she was with friends. However, days later, the family was still missing. When interviewed by a local news station, Watts appeared to be calm and collected, which is made all the more chilling knowing that he was actually responsible for the murders.
Somebody has her and they're not safe, I want them back now.
To make things even more suspicious, it would soon transpire that Chris Watts was having an affair with his coworker Nicole Kessinger at the time of the murders. At the start of their relationship in July 2018, Chris reportedly told Kessinger that he was finalizing his divorce from Shanann. In a subsequent interview with the Denver Post, Kessinger alleged, "When I read the news, I found out he was still married and his wife was 15 weeks pregnant." Kessinger contacted the police after finding out that Shanann and her children were missing, and she maintained that she didn't know anything about Chris's crimes. However, a police investigation of Kessinger's online search history suggests that there might be more to the story than she's telling. According to police records, Kessinger reportedly searched for Chris and Shanann's names online as early as September 2017, almost a year before the crimes took place. Her search history also showed that she had browsed for wedding dresses and searched the phrase "marrying your mistress," suggesting she knew that Chris was still married. During Chris Watts' initial confession, he admitted to murdering Shanann, but claimed that he only did so because his wife had killed their 2 children after he asked for a separation. Watts later claimed that he only went along with this narrative because it was mentioned by the police. As reported by Oxygen in a February 2019 interview with the Frederick Police Department, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and the FBI, Chris revealed that he'd confessed the truth to his lawyers, saying, "They said they wouldn't judge me, so I told them. I told them everything that happened, and they appreciated it." Most of the time, the defendant doesn't actually tell them what happened. Since Chris's incarceration, he's received plenty of fan mail and even love letters from both men and women. According to People, Chris now has pen pals that he corresponds with regularly, with a source revealing rather disturbingly, many of them are from women who thought he was handsome and felt compassion for him. Chris has been known to respond to the letters, even recalling the events leading up to the murders in his replies, per the Daily Mail. While Chris had previously claimed murders happened in the spur of the moment, Chris allegedly wrote in one of his letters, "All the weeks of me thinking about killing her, and now I was faced with it."